10 reasons not to move to Scotland. Oh boy, it's Scotland, where you got the likes of Adam Smith, and now you get the likes of... Never mind. Ever wondered why Scotland is not doing so well? It's the whiskey. But I'll be a little gentle to them just for today, since Scotland is full of violent people who can't take a joke. Let's get to the list. Number 10. Accent. I like the Scottish accent, but sometimes I cannot understand a damn word. The further north you travel in Scotland, the more eloquent the language becomes. My accent is incredible, but the Scottish one is understandably bad, and it's hard to watch movies that have Scottish accents. But the Scottish are unique, and they sound crazy. If you haven't heard of the Scottish accent, then here you go. And what do you think? If Jesus Christ heard the Scottish, he will run for the hills. Number 9. Weather. The weather is always damp. Some parts are okay, whilst most parts are dull and boring. The southern parts are warm in the summer and cold in the winter, but the northern parts are dull, windy, snowy and rainy most of the year. Stornoway, for example, is not the ideal place you would want to raise your family. It has nothing, complete emptiness in the place. Most of the places in Scotland have a limited number of daylight hours, so in the winter it gets dark very quickly, and that of course is bad for your health. It's no wonder people leave Scotland if they want to achieve anything in their life. I mean, why wouldn't they? What has Scotland got to offer apart from Scotch? Number 8. Work. You won't find much work in Scotland. It's hard to find jobs. When you don't find work, it can get a little depressing. There's not many opportunities to develop and get your dream job. There are a limited number of jobs. That's why people in Scotland look for work in England. Unless you are into fishing and alcohol, then you will be fine. Number 7. Nothing to do. Believe it or not, there are some things to do. One is to get smashed, and the other is to shout and scream and break everything. Isn't it no wonder the governors of Scotland never spend a single penny on anything, such as monuments, cause it will get vandalized and broken in 2 seconds, especially in Glasgow. But that is another story. Scotland does not offer much. It has historical buildings such as castles. Are you excited? You better be, cause that's the best you're gonna get. Number 6. Football. When was the last time you seen Scotland win anything? They don't win. They lose every time. It's embarrassing. You have Celtic and Rangers who have created a sectarian war. It's ridiculous how fans from both clubs go crazy and wage war with each other. These lot are mad. I wouldn't recommend you going to a game between Celtic and Rangers, cause you will see no football but players kicking and screaming at each other like a bunch of girls pulling each other's hair. And Scottish football is not competitive one bit. Can't believe these football clubs still exist. Number 5. Places to live. There is a limited number of places that are good. Your only options are Edinburgh and gloomy Glasgow. Well, people tend to leave Scotland and move to England anyway, and guess what? They find success there. Edinburgh is the capital and has its charm. Nice place to travel to, but to live there is a different story altogether. And Glasgow, oh, don't get me started. And the other small towns are not as good, as job opportunities are very low and the accents get a little more funkier when you keep travelling north. Number 4. Traditions. Kilts. Who wears these things? Who in the hell wears these things? I really don't get how these traditions came to be. Men who wear these things tend to have a weird fetish. It's kinda okay, I guess, if you're into men. I heard some men like wearing women's underwear beneath, and some go butt naked, and together they go on a parade. It's weird. Number 3. Bland food. If you ever get laid in Scotland, then you might catch something. Please check it out before it's too late. And could you imagine the sounds they make during, it's all eyes. Aye. Talking about catching something, let's talk about food for a second. Food is not the best. Scotland does not have flavoured food. It's either fish Well, there's only fish on the menu. There's a reason why Gordon Ramsay closed his restaurant in Scotland, because the food isn't the best and there's nothing going on in Scotland. It's a nightmare where dreams come to die. Number 2. Growing food. You must be dreaming. You can't grow food. Look, if you're in England or Wales, you can grow apples, pears, plums, cherries, etc. with the widest of varieties to choose from. But in Scotland, you get no choice. But if you live in southern Scotland, then you can grow some varieties of apples. The weather is not as sunny and it's windy as hell. You can grow raspberries and other berries, and that's all you're gonna get. Number 1. The negative vibe. The noblest prospect with a Scotchman ever sees is the high road that leads to England. Samuel Johnson. And he is so right. Without England, Scotland will die. I mean, a lot of people in Scotland want independence from the UK, and guess what? They want to rejoin Europe. But some don't. However, they dislike the English a lot. Most of Scotland is strictly homogeneous, yet they want to join Europe. They haven't experienced a lot of migration from overseas. Scottish people are very, very lucky. Thank the English for getting you out early, or else you will lose all your culture that you love so much. By the way, independence is bad news for Scotland, as breaking up the family will make you very, very vulnerable. There we have it, the top 10 reasons not to move to Scotland. On a serious note, I think I was a little too nice, and I hope I didn't offend anyone. I actually like the Scots. They are a great bunch. It's just banter, don't worry about it. Comment and subscribe for more great content, and I will see you in another time.